In 1970, in the mountains of southern Bulgaria, two veteran divers named Siana Luchkanova and Evstady Javchev set out to explore one of the most feared caves in Europe. It's called the Devil's Throat. The cave earned its name from the thunderous underground waterfall that swallows everything. Locals claimed that anything dropped into the Devil's Throat sticks, trash, even small animals. Siana and Evstady weren't superstitious. They were part of a Bulgarian cave diving society and had explored countless underwater systems before. But this cave was different. It had never been fully mapped, and the mystery of where the water went had remained unsolved for generations. On the morning of the dive, the team prepared carefully. The two divers entered the water with safety ropes, backup air supplies, and full gear. They descended into the darkness, disappearing behind the waterfall. At first, everything seemed routine, but then, contact was lost. The guideline went slack. No air bubbles returned. No sound. Nothing. Rescue teams were called in. More divers went in. They followed the lines as far as they could, but the cave was too dangerous. Visibility dropped to zero. The current pulled in unpredictable directions. Over several days, the search continued, but no trace of the divers was ever found. Weeks later, something strange happened. Some of the gear they had taken with them, like a diving reel and a small equipment bag, were discovered several kilometers away, in a river outside the cave, but their bodies were never found. Some believe the divers were pulled into a hidden underwater tunnel system that no human has ever explored. Others think the current led them to a lower chamber, sealed off by collapsed rock. The locals have a different explanation. They say the Devil's Throat took them, and it never gives anything back. To this day, no one knows what really happened. The cave is now sealed off, and a small stone monument stands nearby, honoring the missing divers. Their story remains one of the strangest cave diving disappearances in Europe. In the summer of 1988, an experienced cave diver named Roberta Swicegood entered Tytuna Cave in Pennsylvania. She had completed hundreds of dives in underwater caves across the country. That day, she was diving alone, planning to explore a narrow sump deep inside the system. It was a dive she had prepared for. Tytuna Cave is known for its deceptively calm appearance. The entrance is wide and peaceful, with cool, clear water. But just a few hundred feet inside, it becomes a maze of tight tunnels, heavy silt, and complete darkness. One wrong move, and the water becomes impossible to see through. One wrong turn, and you'll never find your way out. Roberta entered the cave and disappeared into the second sump, a long underwater tunnel that few divers had ever attempted alone. When she didn't return on time, a rescue team was called. For 4 days, divers searched through the cave system. The water was cloudy, the passageways tight, and the pressure immense. On the 4th day, they found her body. She was wedged into a narrow bend of the passageway, facing the wrong direction. Her air tank still had oxygen. Her mask was still in place. There were no signs of panic. She did not run out of air. She had simply lost the guideline and gotten turned around in total darkness. With no reference point, she swam deeper into the cave, believing she was heading back. Experts later said it was one of the most tragic types of cave diving accidents, one where everything seems under control, until it isn't. Roberta had the training, the gear, and the experience. But in the end, it wasn't enough. Since her death, access to parts of Tytuna Cave has been restricted. It serves as a reminder to divers around the world. In underwater caves, even a small mistake can be fatal, and sometimes the cave doesn't let you come back. In southern China, there's a cave that almost no one talks about. It's called Juden Cave. It's located in a remote part of Guangxi province, surrounded by dense jungle and jagged limestone cliffs. The cave is not a tourist destination. It's not marked on maps. But for elite cave divers in China, Juden is known as one of the most dangerous underwater systems in the country. Han Ting was one of China's most experienced cave divers. He had explored deep underwater systems throughout Asia and was known for staying calm under pressure. When he heard about Juden Cave, he became fascinated. Locals described it as alive. They said it breathes, that the walls shift, and that the currents change direction with no warning. Han planned the dive carefully. He brought multiple air tanks, spare breathers, and an advanced guideline system. He entered the water alone, leaving a detailed plan with his support team on the surface. For the first hour, everything seemed normal. His signal line moved steadily. Then it stopped. There was no tension on the rope, no signs of movement. The divers on the surface waited. Minutes turned into an hour, then two, then more. Eventually, a rescue team went in after him. They followed the guideline deep into the flooded cave. At around 100 meters, they reached the end of the line. It hadn't snapped. It just ended cleanly, like it had been cut. There was no sign of Han, no bubbles, no lights, no gear. Searches continued for days. Divers explored every reachable tunnel. But Geodin is massive, with chambers that go far beyond what even elite divers can handle. Han was never found. Theories quickly spread online. Some believe Han suffered a blackout from oxygen toxicity. Others think he got stuck in a side tunnel and drowned. But some divers who attempted Judan after his disappearance reported something strange. They said the current inside the cave pulled them downward, even in flat chambers. One diver claimed to hear strange clicking sounds behind him, even though he was alone. Some believe Judan is connected to a much larger underground system, one that has never been mapped. Others say Han might still be down there, somewhere, in a place no human has ever reached. To this day, Judan Cave remains mostly unexplored. Hunting's disappearance remains one of the most chilling mysteries in the cave diving world.